Hey, ladies. Okay, so we are live in social media land. And today we are here to briefly have a conversation, a very serious one, apparently, um, to, about the recall election. So we are calling this the special election. I don't know why, as opposed to the recall election. I'm trying to be technically, what you call it, my language supposed to I'm trying to be technically right. What I want to do first, though, I'm Tony McNeil, and today I am streaming live from my personal page and the Concrete Team page, which is a personal page, in order to lift up and raise awareness in regard to this special election that we find ourselves coming up in September. Um, and so I want to make sure that you all know I am not here to tell you who to vote for or what to do. I do want to raise some very serious awareness in regard to what it is that we're looking at surrounding this election. I want to make sure that everyone knows what to do with this thing that you got in the mail because it's there in the mail. If you haven't got it, we need to tell you how to get it. And we want to talk about some of the contributing factors to where we are now, where we find ourselves. So, native of Stockton, all of that good stuff. I don't even want to bore y'all with all of the nuances of who I am. So, Tony, that's who I am today, and I want to introduce you to some of the guests that I've invited in. Because when I don't know what to do, I call Jasmine. I'll be like, Jasmine, what the world is going on? What am I supposed to do with this? So you remember ADM, Jasmine? It's like, what is ADM? What does this mean? And what am I supposed to do? And why didn't I know anything about this? And so Jasmine pulled
You
together.
weren't alone. A lot of people were wondering about that too. So glad
So
you could
Jasmine,
demystify.
introduce yourself.
Yeah,
Introduce yourself.
thank you. Thank you, Elder Tony. I'm Jasmine Leak. I use she, her pronouns. I am an ADEM delegate to the Democratic Party for our assembly region, which is Assembly District 13. And yeah, I'm a community organizer and connector, as Tony mentioned. And if I know I don't know something, I pull in other people, and I'm like, I need to leverage other people who do know more about it. And I know a little bit about what's going on right now, but the person who knows a lot more, I think, about this is Mana Shushtari. And so I'll pass it over to Mana to introduce herself.
Thank you, Jasmine, for connecting me in, and thank you, Elder Tony, for letting me on your live. I so appreciate it. Hi, y'all. I am Mani Shushtari. My pronouns are she, hers. I, like Jasmine, am also an ADEM delegate to the California Democratic Party, representing Assembly District 13, which is Stockton, French Camp, Mountain House, and Tracy. I am also vice president of Young Dems of San Joaquin here, and I work at an organization called the Grassroots Democrats HQ, where I'm the field and communications coordinator. And in my free time, I study political science at San Jose State University.
See, she knows what she's talking about.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, Mana's definitely plugged in and knows her stuff. So, yeah, thanks for having us today.
No, I thank you for coming in and making yourselves available for this. This is a really important conversation to be had. So I want to make sure that you all know I'm bringing you in because 52-year-old woman, black woman, and when it comes to like voter engagement, civic engagement, voter information, all of the nuances around this, I just am barely learning. I've learned so much within 5 years being a community organizer. It would blow the average person's mind. And so I used to rely on my daughter to tell me, Mommy, you need to vote. And this is what you need to do. My teacher said that you should, vote for this proposition and this thing. And that's where all of my insight came from.
Yeah.
So I want you guys, I have my thing, right?
Yeah. If we can, I think I want to break it back, like go back a little bit though, about like what is a recall? How did this come to be? Because I think a lot of people don't really, I think there are people who know that obviously that state officials can be recalled. But I think there's a lot of questions about, well, how did this happen? I thought that he was trying to be recalled and it didn't work. So I think just a little bit of breaking that down would be helpful. And I think I just want to also plug that, the work that we do at Third City Coalition is really here in Stockton. We're a civic organization focused on increasing civic pride and civic engagement. And and our focus is really on local government and the systems at the local level. So when I say local, I'm talking about like our city council, our county, and all the other kind of regional governments that are part of our area. But what we're talking about today is a statewide recall. And so California is one of 19, I believe, states in the United States that allow voters to recall their state officials and in the middle of their term. And so that's what we're dealing with right now. There's a minimum number of people who had to sign their petition to recall the governor. And that minimum number, I believe, was around 1.5 million people. And there have been 5 attempts that have failed to recall Governor Newsom. And this is the 6th. And they succeeded this time around by collecting around 1.7 million signatures. So that's how we got here.
So 1.7 million out of how many?
So the threshold is 1.5 million, and it's 12% of the people who voted in the last election. So 12% of the total voters in the 2018 or 2020, Mana? 2018 election, when he was elected, 12% had to, a minimum threshold of 12% had to sign that petition. And this time around, in the 6th attempt, they were able to collect 1.7 million valid signatures that have been validated by the Secretary of State.
And Jasmine, if I can add to that, the only reason why they were able to reach that 1.7 number is because even though the original petition was due in November 2020, the petition filers requested an extension because of COVID. And a judge granted them a 6-month extension, allowing them to connect those extra signatures needed. So this petition was also destined to fail, but since they got a 6-month extension, they were able to actually trigger a recall election of the governor.
Right. And so on July 1st, the Secretary of State, Shirley Weber, certified that they had collected more than the minimum threshold. And that's when there was always this like kind of rumor about a recall, but then it became official back in July. And that's when they set the date for the recall, which is September 14th.
When, if you don't mind me asking, when is Governor Newsom's term up?
Next year, in 2022.
So wait, I just want to make sure that I'm hearing this clearly. So we're spending $276 million to recall a governor whose term comes to an end next year, and someone. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's essentially it. We're spending an extra $276 million on this election, even though he's up for re-election in 2022.
Make it make sense. No, I'm just sorry.
No,
I know. A lot of people have been asking this question, like, why not just wait? And again, I mean, at this point, we're past that.
Cheaper.
Yeah, at this point, we're past that. So it's done.
So we have 270. I'm an organizer, so I'm just saying. So we just have $276 million at our fingertips and disposal to actually recall someone when they're up for re-election, and we could just wait a few more months in order for someone to run up against them, and we only needed 1.5 million out of a population of what, 40 something million?
40 million, so 4% of the California population.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I got the numbers right, because this is about civic education and breaking down the blah, blah, blah. I'm so sorry. Jasmine, continue.
No need to be sorry. I think it's frustrating, I think, because as organizers, we know that every dollar counts and that there are really important important issues that the state and our local communities are facing, and that money could have been better utilized, or could have been utilized for other things.
You think during COVID?
During COVID, yeah, absolutely. And so I think there have been budget impacts, and it has meant this has meant sacrifices in the budget elsewhere.
Okay.
And so it's not like we just had $276 million. It's, you know, it's, they're having to find that money and cut other things.
Okay. Well, that's a whole nother conversation, is where in the budget did we find $276 million? Where
Yeah,
did
that's
it
above
come from?
that's something that I think the state has yet to share where they've cut,
We'll
those
figure
things.
it out.
But yeah, it will come out eventually. What services or programs or expenditures were sacrificed to accommodate this.
What schools? What? Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, you know, so now here we are. Ballots have been mailed out. I believe August 16th was the date for mailing out those ballots. And now we're at August 25th. So as you just showed, you know, folks are getting their ballots. Every registered voter should receive a ballot by mail to fill out. And there are 2 questions on the ballot. I just want to pause in case you have questions about, like, I actually don't know this answer. So Mana,
Yeah.
Can you share, if you don't get a ballot, if you know you're a registered voter and you don't receive a ballot in the mail, what happens?
First, I recommend that you track where your ballot is using ballot tracks. I'll put the link to that in the chat so Elder Tony can distribute it as well. And it's possible that it's just in the mail and it's just taking some time, because unfortunately there still are delays through USPS at the moment. But if you don't see anything there, then I recommend calling the voter protection hotline and seeing what you have to do to get a new ballot. And I'll put that phone number into the private chat as well. And they'll make sure. So, and if you can't get a response there, the best way to go about it would be to go to one of the in-person polling locations, which I believe opened 4 days before Election Day. And you can ask to fill out a ballot there. Since you're not able to surrender your ballot since you never got it, they'll make you fill out a provisional ballot. But once they're able to affirm that you never voted by mail or turned in a vote by mail ballot through a drop box or someplace else, then your provisional vote will count.
Thanks. Yeah, I wasn't 100% clear on the process. I wasn't sure if it's the same for the recall election as it is in a normal election, but yeah, it sounds like it's the same. As long as if you haven't received it, you'll receive a provisional ballot. So yeah, so basically, you know, folks are getting their ballots. The ballot only has 2 questions on it. The first question is, should Gavin Newsom be recalled? And it's a simple yes or no answer on the ballot. So you'll fill that out. Make sure that you fill it in properly according to the instructions, which looks like filling the box in completely, not making an X, not check mark, fill it in completely.
Jasmine, I want to do this while you're talking, so I want to make
live voting. Wow, this is very exciting.
So I have my pen.
Okay, so just a quick note: does your pen have black ink?
No, it's red. I like colorful ink.
Yeah, so that's not going to work. You have to use black ink. Thanks for the reminder. You can't use a blue pen, purple pen, green pen, red pen. Okay. It's got to be black ink.
Can it be a gel pen?
I don't think that matters as long as the ink is black.
Okay, let me make sure the ink is black.
So double check that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then yeah, you'll just select yes or no. You'll make your choice.
Wait. Okay, so.
And I just want to affirm that voting yes means you want to remove Governor Newsom. Voting no means you want him to stay.
Thanks for that. Yeah. So thank you for that clarification.
So oh God. No, you guys, I'm just so I'm a little flustered. So I'm just thinking this through. I'm so difficult. So if I vote to recall the governor right now, we're in September, right?
Almost, yeah.
Okay, so the vote's going to be in September. So if he is recalled, what month would he leave office?
He has 30 days after the final vote is tabulated.
So the final vote, which ain't no telling because when they did the whole thing, it took forever. So worst case scenario, they keep counting this stuff until December, January. When is the 2020 election
November 2020.
of next year? So
Oh,
we
you
get
you mean
22.
2022?
22.
22.
Sorry, November 2022.
Thank you.
So
I don't
we
think that they'll count it through that far, but
no, but
you
that's
know.
not what I'm going. What I'm trying to think through is how long then would. So I don't know. Say my son is elected for governor. To if Newsom is recalled, my son, right? Hypothetically speaking,
Mhm.
is elected, then we would have to then deal with my son until the next election comes up, in order to find out,
To
so
reelect a different governor or reelect the same governor.
So it's just a
potentially.
temporary person that is
It's
in there unless reelected.
basically, yeah, they so if 50% plus one vote, whatever the 50% of the total voters, whatever that in vote count is,
Okay.
plus one voter. So if that's the threshold. If they vote yes to recall him, and
Okay.
then he is recalled,
Okay.
and that takes and that obviously, as Mana said, he has 30 days to vacate the office, and the new person who gets elected, assuming there is one, would take that office from that time until November, or well, actually, it wouldn't be until January of the following year when the office turns over. The election would be in November 2022, but then they would assume office in January of 2023.
And since we're talking about question 2, I just want to emphasize that question 2, whoever gets the most votes on question 2, keep in mind on this ballot, there are 46 people running to replace Governor Newsom should he be recalled. You don't need a majority of the vote. It's not 50% for question 2.
Correct.
It's whoever gets the highest number of votes. So theoretically, if Governor Newsom is recalled with only like 51% of the vote, it goes on to question 2 to replace him. And since there are 46 candidates, theoretically, somebody with only like 20% of the vote can be the person elected to replace Governor Newsom. Even though Governor Newsom got way more votes to be kept in office, the person with the highest number of votes on question 2 will be the one to replace him. You don't need 50% on question 2. You just need the highest number of votes.
Right. So question 2, just to clarify what question 2 is. Question 2 is who should replace the governor. And as Mana mentioned, there's 46 candidates on the ballot. And so if you select one of those, and let's say your candidate is the one with the most votes of the people who vote for that question, whether you answer that question or not, the person who gets the highest number of those votes is going to replace Gavin Newsom.
So page 1 of 2, the official ballot page, okay, is on the bottom. It is where the question is, because it's so easy to not be able to see it. And so I want to make sure that folks know where to find it. So on the official ballot page, on the bottom, on the right-hand side, it says state, and it says, shall Gavin Newsom be recalled, removed from office, recalled, removed, revoked, replaced. And so that's where we then, with our black ink pen, vote yes or no. If we say yes, then we're saying yes, we agree to recall Gavin Newsom. If we vote no, then we're saying no, we do not want to revoke or recall or replace Gavin Newsom.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. And then when you flip the ballot over,
Okay.
it's our second question with all those, you see that long list of candidates.
Okay.
And that's can you read the question specifically? Because I can't recall exactly.
Candidates to succeed Gavin Newsom as governor if he is recalled.
That's right.
Now I have a question already.
Mm-hmm.
So hypothetically speaking, if I want him recalled, then I need to research these candidates that I don't know squat about in order to to determine who would replace him. Yes.
Yes.
That's correct.
If I don't want him recalled, do I still need to pick a candidate to replace him?
That's
You
your choice.
can, but you don't have to. It's up to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's your choice.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And basically, as Mana mentioned, the person who gets the highest number of votes, if he is recalled, if more than 50% plus one vote is yes, more than 50% plus one vote yes, he will be
Okay.
recalled.
So I
Whether
do
you
have-
answer question 2, if you, let's say hypothetically, you answer question 2 as no, you don't
Okay.
want him recalled,
Okay.
and you decide you're not going to pick a replacement candidate,
Mm-hmm.
then if people still vote yes, if the majority of people still vote yes, then the candidate with the highest number of votes will be the new governor of California.
Okay.
Whether you vote or not, it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Okay. The other question, Ruben Lee, Pastor. Hi, Pastor Ruben. Pastor Ruben is asking, where can he find information on the other candidates?
So I think the best place to go for this would be your the booklet they send you before every election. Each candidate submitted a bio, and they typically what they put in there is their strategy for leading California, their policy platform, what they intend to focus on, etc. I also recommend Googling each of these candidates and finding their official campaign website to see what they are promoting on their personal websites and reading news stories about them.
Mhm.
This book,
Yes, that book.
I
That's the
am
one.
so ashamed because I want you to know that I just went and pulled it out the trash.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's junk mail or a
Yep.
junk pamphlet. It's very, yeah, it's
Elder
definitely.
Tony, your honesty is so appreciated though, because I guarantee you're not the only one who just threw it in the trash can. So,
And also, I just want to note, like, if you live in a house with multiple voters, you might only get one of those. Just as an FYI. So yeah, if there are multiple registered voters at an address, you might only get one. So keep that in mind.
Is this
If you live with
information on the
other people,
website?
they might have thrown away your sample or your kind of supplemental packet. I will
Pastor
offer that
Lee,
there's
no,
one
no.
other. I will also offer that there's one other way to learn more about candidates. There's a great media source called Cal Matters, and they're a nonprofit, nonpartisan news source.
Okay.
And they are doing profiles on the additional candidates.
So is it just calmatters.com?
calmatters.org. I'll put it into the chat. They have a whole section on the recall, and it's in the top in their toolbar. You can see where it says Newsom Recall Election Watch. There's a ton of information in there. That's how I got trained up on a lot of this, because when the last time there was an election, a recall election, I was like a teenager. So
I was 3. So
okay. So then, yeah, I was like, I wasn't even a teenager then, probably. When was that?
2003.
2003.
Who was it?
It was Gray Davis. And he was the first governor in California history to actually be removed from office. And that's how we ended up with Arnold. I can never pronounce his last name.
Schwarzenegger, and I can't.
Yes.
So yes. And how? Yes. So
So-
all I knew is that they appointed the guy from Total Recall of the Terminator.
The Terminator became our governor. That's right.
We
So
have
yeah,
another
so
question?
just want to say Cal Matters is a great source, in my opinion. I think that they're very, very unbiased, and they're just providing people with information. So I would check them out if you want to learn more about other candidates.
So I put them inside the chat too. Pastor Ruben wanted to know 2 things. One, why is Newsom not on the ballot? Which is a good question. I think that's a solid question. And then the other question that he had asked, not many people are informed of this. Where can I get another one? I think that Cal Matters is the solution to that.
You might also be able to pick one up at the Register of Voters.
Okay.
They might I don't know if they're in person, allowing in person, but I can also check and see if the registrar of voters has samples, and I can
Okay.
follow up.
Okay.
Not samples, but those guides, voter guides.
Okay. And that's helpful and good stuff. So now let's go to this one.
So I can take this question. Governor Newsom is not on the second question because you cannot replace yourself. And that was a technicality decided by a judge recently. So even though Governor Newsom is technically not a candidate, he still is the one up for recall. So his election is question 1. So if you want to keep Governor Newsom, you do have to vote no on question 1, but you can't vote yes and then vote for write-in Gavin Newsom on question 2, because that your vote for question 2 will be invalidated.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Mana. I didn't know that actually, because I've heard people say like, "Oh, I'm just going to write in his name." So basically, what you're saying is it will be invalid.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It won't count.
So what are some important details that I need to know about this? So I'm going to complete my ballot. There is a practice ballot, I think, in here. No, I don't see it. I'm going to complete my ballot, and then after I complete my ballot, and I'm going to be repetitive. So I'm going to put yes if I want the governor recalled. I'm going to put no if I want the governor to stay.
Yes.
Okay. If I want the governor to be replaced, I need to pick a replacement.
You should.
Okay. I don't have to, but I should, because otherwise one will be selected for me based on a majority vote.
That's correct.
Yes.
If I do not want the governor to be replaced, I don't have to pick someone. However, if I want to make sure in the event he is that I have a say, then I think I've picked one.
That's correct.
After I complete this, what do I do so that it is accepted?
So since California is pretty great with voter laws, you have many options here. But the one thing you do have to do is you have to put it back into that envelope, the privacy envelope, and you have to sign the back of it. So after you put it into the privacy envelope and you sign the back of it, you can drop it off at a myriad of locations. The easiest way for some is to just stick it into the mail, because in California, you actually don't need a stamp to mail your ballot back. You can just put it back in the mail as long as you sign it, and it's, like licked shut and everything. So you just stick it in the mail. Another way to do it, if you're worried about the USPS delays, is to put it into a designated drop box. And so these drop boxes are official. There's a guide on where you can find one. I'll put a link for the one in San Joaquin County to find a list of Dropbox locations in San Joaquin County into the chat as well, so you can find the closest one. And you can also turn it in at a vote center.
I signed it, but do I have to fill out this box in the corner?
What does it say?
I don't know. Let's see. So I did sign it on the bottom, my envelope, but this box in the corner, it says, I authorize the person below to return my ballot.
So that's if you want somebody else to return your ballot for you. So let's say if I filled out my ballot and I wasn't able to put it into the mailbox or put it into a drop box or turn it in person, and I was like, hey, Dad, can you drop my ballot off for me? That's when you would sign it.
Okay.
Just confirms that someone else has, the ballot has changed hands with someone else to drop it off for you.
Okay. So if I'm going to drop it off in person for my father, who's elderly and maybe not be able to, then he would need to complete that box.
If you're going to drop it off for your father, he would sign his ballot in the bottom left corner.
Yes.
And you would sign in the top right, that top right box.
Okay.
Because you're the one that would be dropping it off. Yep.
Okay. So
and let's use your example of your father. Let's say your father is elderly or is unable to sign and is unable to sign his ballot. He can put an X at where the signature of voter line is,
Mm-hmm.
and you could witness that he was the one that signed it.
Okay.
And that's the box above where it says declaration of voter,
Mhm.
right above there where it says signature of witness. That would be where you would witness that he signed his ballot with an X.
Okay. So is there anything that I need to be cautious of that would cause my ballot to be rejected or not counted?
You need to sign the back of it for sure. Another thing is you need to, if you plan to send it by mail, it has to be postmarked by September 14th, which is election day. So if you do intend to submit your ballot by mail, it's recommended that you do it a bit early to ensure that it is postmarked by September 14th.
Yeah, and the great thing is what Mana was talking about earlier. Just the same way that you can track your ballot on its way to you, you can also track that it was received.
Okay.
At that same where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov address, you can also keep tabs on it that way.
Okay. All right. So my ballot is completed. My envelope is signed. I have a return address on the back, and I just need to drop this puppy in the mailbox.
That's right.
I personally am taking mine physically to a ballot drop box for me personally,
Okay.
just because I'm like, no, this is my vote. I want to make sure. I'm extra cautious about it. So that's me, but you can do it in the mail. And that
Okay.
obviously we, trust the post office, and we have a lot of ways to confirm, but
So
I recommend dropping it off in person if you're able to.
So what I'm posting now in the chat is a link to show us where the drop boxes are.
Yes, the SJC-Dropboxes 2021 is for drop boxes.
Okay. All right. So if we're wanting to know where the drop boxes are, you all you have to do is just click that link, and that will help you to know where they are. And then the other link that the ladies are providing for us today is the Where's My Ballot. So once you have submitted your ballot, then you can actually track it.
Hey, Mana,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are there going to be in-person polling places?
There is. I was just about to bring that up. I'll put a link for those into the chat as well.
So this is like if you want to kick it old school and actually go and vote on election day at a polling location with the ballot that's going to be mailed to you, or if you didn't get your ballot and you need to be provided a provisional ballot, you can go to these polling locations, right?
Yes.
And vote there, and then drop it in the polling at the polling location.
And if you got a vote by mail ballot, but you simply just want to vote in person, when you do go to a polling location, make sure you bring your vote by mail ballot with you so you can surrender it. And that way, instead of getting a provisional ballot, you will still get a
real ballot.
No, you'll get a real ballot instead of a provisional ballot.
That's right. You trade the vote by mail ballot for the regular ballot, basically.
And that's how they ensure you're not voting twice.
That's right.
Okay.
Which is a felony, I learned, to vote twice. So don't.
Yes, it is.
No one do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Vote
So
twice.
do not accidentally vote twice. So
important.
You know what, and we're being really lighthearted and everything about this. And so I'm really being intentional on not I'm really staying on one side of the lane right now to not share even my opinion. And I don't know how I'm doing with my poker face, but I hope I'm doing really good.
It's beautiful.
Well, the thing is, I mean, like you said, it is serious. It matters.
Yes.
Like who our governor is. I think the last time I saw, we're the 5th largest economy in the world.
That's it. Yep.
Our leadership matters. Like this time that we're in is very tumultuous, and like we need strong leadership, and to be honest, I can understand the frustration that people are feeling, and wanting to see results and wanting to see change. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of a lot of questions about this, how this has unfolded, and why we're in the position that we're in today. And either way, you know, there's going to be another election next year. So
Man. So
we need to gear up for that too, you know, and be prepared to participate in that as well.
So I know that a lot of us weren't anticipating this. We weren't expecting it. And so it's just kind of throwing folks off. However, we wanted to make sure that we raise awareness. I'm asking for those of you that do see this video that you please share it with others in order to make sure that, you know, if folks have questions in regard to how to vote, how to engage with the ballot, you know, if they need access to resources, I've dropped everything in the link in the chat for them to be able to access that information. Is there a way for people to contact you, you know, if they need more information, you know, from you all?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to share my email. I will put that into the chat as well. Generally pretty responsive, but do give me 24 to 48 hours to get back to you.
Yeah, I'll probably say no because I don't know more than what we're sharing today, you know, and I don't have more answers than that. I'm happy to talk through things with folks, but I'm educating myself in the same way that everyone else is, and I would really refer to people who are more clued in. Like I probably refer them to Mana, you know, or say like, go follow Mana on Twitter, and you'll be looped in very much on what's going on and how to find the information that you're looking for. And yeah, but I mean, and you know, you can ask me, but I'm probably gonna tell you I don't know. So we're gonna have to find the information. We'll have to work together to find the information, you know, which I'm happy to do always.
So, Mana, I think that I just kind of wanted to just wrap it up by asking, you know, so do you think that we'll have a good voting turnout, you know, surrounding this? Do you think that people are informed enough and aware enough that this is happening?
In all sincerity, I do consider myself to be an optimist, but in all sincerity, I do a lot of voter contact in my job, and the number of people who have picked up the phone and said, "Oh, I didn't know there was a recall," or "Oh, I thought it was in November," or "Oh, I thought like it didn't happen," is terrifying. In all honesty. And so I am worried about turnout because people think either this election isn't happening or that it's happening in November. So we're really trying to emphasize to folks, September 14th is election day. You're getting your ballot in the mail. Once you get it, fill it out, turn it back in as soon as possible, whether that's by mail, a drop box, or turning it in person somewhere. But September 14th is the date, and we're trying to get everyone to contact their friends and family and to say the same thing. Because it's one thing to hear it from me or from Jasmine or from Elder Tony, but when you're reaching out to your parents or when you're reaching out to your best friend, you become a trusted messenger. And people are more likely to listen to you as an individual than to someone. While this is great, it's all about personal contact. So we're really encouraging folks to contact their friends, their family. I'm texting 5 people a day and saying, "Hey, make sure you turn in your ballot." Because people don't realize this is September 14th. It's in 20 days.
Ooh. Yeah, I would say if you can, commit to telling at least 10 people between now and election day that this is happening. Because a lot of people, as Mana said, don't realize it, or they think it's a rumor. That's the one that I hear a lot is, "Oh, I thought that they tried to recall him, but it's not actually happening." And the fact of the matter is that it is happening, and it's, as Mana said, not that far away. We have less than 3 weeks until voting day. So it's important.
Okay, you guys. Well, I've got my
you.
ballot completed, and I really appreciate you guys taking this time out just to get us educated and informed. So you all, I'm asking that you share and spread the word. I'm going to use my base to text a friend. And so I'm gonna reach out to friends and family members throughout California. So this is not limited to San Joaquin County. This is not limited to Stockton. This is a California election. You need to share and spread this information. Everyone, so these are registered voters only?
You can register to vote until August 30th. But since California is awesome with voter registration laws, you can register to vote in person if you go to a polling location on election day itself. But you will be given a provisional ballot. So vote by August 30th, register to vote by August 30th, but if you're unable to do so, go in person on September 14th.
Right.
Hey, Mana. Sorry. I know we're about to wrap, but just something you said just made me wonder. If I'm not, let's say I'm not registered to vote, and I want to vote, I register to vote tomorrow. How do I get my ballot? Does it also get mailed out to me?
I don't know.
Yeah, we got to find that out,
don't
because
know.
I actually was thinking about that when you were just saying, like, is it better to register before the August 30th deadline, or so if you register, if you're not registered by the time ballots went out by mail, what happens? Do you have to go physically to the polling location or down to the secretary or registrar of voters office to get a ballot? Like, how's that going to work? So I think we need to follow up on that. That's a question that I don't actually know the answer to, and I haven't seen it anywhere.
Same.
Okay.
So we'll need to follow up on that, Elder Tony.
Okay, no, that is really, really helpful, because
there are a lot of people who aren't registered to vote, especially in our area. So definitely need to clarify that. I don't have that answer.
And are provisionals counted? I mean, are they really relevant?
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
are.
Okay.
They count as just as any other vote. They just have, I think they have a different validation process that they go through.
Okay. So complete.
Sorry to throw that wrench in. I just was thinking about it.
No, it's not a wrench. It's just really good information. This is good to know. Like I said, I mean, people are dealing with a pandemic. They're dealing with, sickness, some cases death. They're losing businesses. They're dealing with evictions, and homeowners are trying to extend opportunities for people to rent that are struggling financially, and so they're trying to make sure that their mortgages are taken care of. And we've got a tsunami of homelessness and all throughout the Central Valley and all these different places, and low counts in vaccine. And I mean, come on now, we've got so many different things, gun violence, domestic violence, the schools are dealing with issues, all of that. And so in the midst of all of that, you have, a small fraction of individuals that are like, okay, they're just hell bent. And so, all right, they're going to do their thing. And so now here we are thrown into, we've got to do a recall election. Everybody stop what you're doing, stop your life, stop everything that you are trying to do to stay above water and not sink or drown in order to engage in an election. And I realize that that's what we're saying. And that is what we're saying. We need you to vote. So we need you to vote. We need you to check your mail. We need you to make sure that you use this. If you don't have it, if you've thrown it away, then you need to go ahead and look onto the chat in order to get another one. If all else fails, go to one of your polling stations. There's a link that tells you where you can go to the polling station in order to get one and vote provisional. If you're not registered to vote, register. And you can reach out to me, messenger me, and I'll help you connect with some folks in order to make sure that you know how to do that. There is no way or no excuse, really. There is no thing that will exclude you from participating in this election, this special election, other than just not doing it. And at this point, we need you all to engage. So please get out there. Please vote. September 14th is D-Day. So we'll have more information that we're posting and sharing. And ladies, anything new, anything relevant, make sure we get it, and we'll circulate it and get it out there to the best of our ability.
Yeah, I'll follow up in the chat about those things. If I can find an answer about the questions that I raised, both with the voter guide and if you lose your voter guide, if you tossed it in the mail or in the trash, I'll follow up on that. And also the question about what happens, how do you get a ballot if you register after the mail date? So we'll find out. We'll put it into the chat of this feed.
Okay. Well, you guys, I appreciate you super much. I appreciate you all that tapped in. Please share this. I'll be sending it to folks in my text message. You can, I'll drop a link for the YouTube. I'll drop the YouTube link and text it to you all as well, so that we can text people the link so that they can watch this video. So we got to get this out. Spread the word, you guys. Don't forget to vote September 14th. Don't forget to vote. All right.
Thank you, Elder Tony.
Thank
You
you,
are
Elder
welcome.
Tony.
Mana,
See you.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
Mana.
so much. Thank you, Jasmine. Love you guys.
Love you
You
too.
guys take care. Be safe, okay?
You too.
All right, you too.